All right, check who's joining me on the bike today on the way to gym. Ina's officially on holiday, so it's very nice to have her joining me during daytime to get to the gym. So yeah, this week's video is going to look a little bit different. It's still going to include a bit of training and things around the lifestyle here in China, but the theme for this week is going to be Myasthenia Gravis, since it's the first video of the content I'm making from this year, 2025, and earlier this year I was diagnosed with Myasthenia Gravis. So to everyone that's been watching these videos before, if you're not too interested in this autoimmune condition, then I don't blame you. You can wait for next week's video. But I'm making this video mainly for all the newbies to Myasthenia Gravis, all the people that are new to Myasthenia Gravis and have a lot of questions that they are wondering about, questions that I had myself, and also anyone that revolves around that person, like family and friends and wives, girlfriends. They are also, newbies to Myasthenia Gravis. They have a lot to learn because, as I'm sure you all agree, it takes both of us to adapt to a little bit of a different lifestyle. Yeah. So this week I'm going to go over how it all came about to me. Anyone that's got Myasthenia Gravis will know that the beginning, it's not like you start feeling sick and then all of a sudden within a very short period of time they can diagnose you with what's wrong. It's very confusing in the beginning. So I'll go over my journey from beginning to now, how I'm dealing with it, what causes some relapses so far for me, what makes me feel a little bit better, and I'll go over lots of questions that I had as a beginner, as a newbie to Myasthenia Gravis. So I think this is a perfect video for anyone that's new to it, and if there's anything unanswered, feel free to message me anytime on Instagram or any other platform where you can find me, on Facebook or wherever. So I'll be happy to talk to you about it. So yeah, guys, this week is going to be Myasthenia Gravis, and we'll take it from there. Before going further into this video, I just want to give a quick breakdown of what exactly Myasthenia Gravis is to the people who are not familiar with this condition and who are interested to learn about it. So basically, it's just a condition that produces the wrong antibodies in your body. That's why it's an autoimmune condition. And what it does is it affects your receptors in your muscle. So your brain sends signals to your muscles to activate it so that it can contract and you can move. But what happens is these antibodies that your body is wrongly producing are getting in the way of that. So it blocks the acetylcholine receptors, which are on your muscles, and then your signals are unable to reach the muscle to stimulate the response. So it affects the area between the nerves and your muscles. This gets worse with activity and repetition. So whether you're pushing something or running or doing something very repetitive, your antibodies will build up more and it'll block or destroy your acetylcholine receptors in your muscles. But luckily, it gets better with rest. It doesn't get better extremely quickly. It depends on the severity of your condition or where you're at in terms of treatment, or if you haven't been on treatment yet, you might take longer to recover. The analogy that I like using in explaining to people how this condition works is, I try to explain it with imagining a battery pack filled with a bunch of batteries. So with this condition, you get a set amount of batteries, and those batteries get taken away as you spend energy throughout the day. But the battery pack is a little bit broken. So you start, instead of starting with 100 batteries at 100% charge, you only get to start with 80% batteries, even after a good night's rest. And then you go throughout your day, and depending on what you do, depends on how much batteries get taken from your body. And obviously, depending on what you're doing, some things might take more than others. So if you have a very relaxed day and you're simply watching a bit of TV and resting, then by the end of the day, you might have a decent amount of batteries left. You'll feel okay. You might have 50 or 40 batteries left and you won't feel so fatigued. But certain activities take more batteries than others. So if I just go for a light swim, that might only take 10 batteries. If I go for a jog, that might take 20 or 30 batteries. If I have a heavy weightlifting session, that might take 50 batteries. But you can't get those batteries back. You only have those limited 80 batteries for the day. If you're in a normal condition, you could have a nap and maybe gain 40 batteries back. But in this condition, you can have a nap and only get about 5 batteries back, which make a slight difference. but only for a little while. So it's very much about managing your battery levels throughout the day, your energy levels, because you only have a set amount for the day, and you just need to learn how to use it sustainably and efficiently to the best of your ability to manage how you feel throughout the day. I know, for example, that even when I'm doing a lot of reading and catching up with clients in the morning, the screen time, even just that alone, takes quite a bit of batteries. It almost feels kind of like my eyes have a battery pack of their own, because they tend to get tired quite quickly just from reading, as your eye muscles don't have the biggest muscles ever. Anyway, I'll speak more about that later.
Milk?
Yes, please. As we were mentioning, I'm going to go back from the start and talk a little bit about how it all came about, the whole journey until now, but we'll keep it as short as possible. But I know that it's very nice for anyone new to this to be able to relate to someone that's gone through the same thing that you might be going through right now. All right, so now we're going to rewind a little bit and start from the beginning when we started getting symptoms in my eyes. So I didn't start with double vision straight away, but my eyes became very sensitive in the end of 2022, right, in September.
Yeah.
So it's 2025 now. So this was about 3 years ago when I first got my first symptoms. Didn't think too much of it. Thought that maybe I was just having an eye infection or something like that. And that only lasted about a week. The first time when I was like, something is not great with my eyes. I was still at work. And then by January 2023, Ina and I had COVID for the first time, because they uplifted policies around China, and basically everyone in China got COVID within 2 weeks, and Ina and I were part of the group. And then after recovering from COVID, 2 weeks after, I started getting double vision for the first time. So if it's got anything to do with getting the virus, I can't make that conclusion, but I have noticed that there are more MG cases after the COVID outbreak. Anyway, then we went to Thailand, and I remember one of the worst nights with double vision was in the airport at Hong Kong. We had a massive layover. I remember just laying in the airport. You even put those things on my eyes.
Yeah,
I was just laying, and I can still remember it so clearly, just figuring out how this double vision works, because everything I need to try and put an edit into this video of what it looks like, because it's so hard to explain, but everything you look at is double, and I know how frustrating that is, and I'll say it now so you don't have to wait for the conclusion. Just know that that does go away, whether this is the beginning and you're not even on meds. Before I even took any autoimmune suppressants, it did go away, but we'll get more into that soon.
Yeah, so we were thinking it's just, we didn't know why you having that, right? So,
yeah.
And before that, to make sure that nothing is wrong with his eyes, we went to the hospital and we've done all of what's possible, all the examinations and blood work and MRI, and doctor said, what did they say? They said that you're fine, maybe just your eyes are tired.
The first time,
oh no, that was
infection.
about, yeah.
So because I had a bit of a sinus infection, which is quite common for me, they concluded that I am getting some pressure behind my eyes because of a sinus infection. It wasn't even a big infection, but the MRI did show that there is a little bit of a buildup, and nothing wrong with the brain or anything like that. Because if you're having double vision, the doctors will firstly they will double check you don't have a tumor or anything like that. So it was relieving to know that there's no tumor or anything too serious.
But in the end of all, they only gave us some eye drops and they taught
antibiotics.
us antibiotics for your infection.
For the infection.
And they taught us how to do massage, like to press really hard.
Yo, that guy nearly poked my eyes out. I'll never forget that. At that stage, we had no idea what Myasthenia Gravis even was. We went to Thailand, and within 3 days or 2 days over there, it started getting better. The first 2 days, I remember like still swimming and trying to look, and if you can, you find yourself trying a whole bunch of different angles to see what helps, and it just slowly went away. And by day 3 or 4, it was gone, and we were like, "Cool, the medicine is working." It was just an infection.
I think
check if Lucky is alive there. Lucky, you good? Yes, see. Life's good, eh? Yeah, so then it went away.
It went away completely. We forgot about that. We were thinking everything is fine.
Everything's fine. Didn't think it would ever come back. Yeah. And then it stayed away for 18 months.
Yeah. Next time you start getting symptoms,
was in summer last year, 2024. Telling you, oh my word, I'm starting to get glimpses of a little bit of double vision again. Like it'll just pop up every now and again. And once again, had no idea what was going on. And I was thinking that it would just go away. And then we decided go to the doctors again. This time we went to a different hospital. Saw some doctors and they just said that I need to rest my eyes and my eyes are fatigued from screen time, which I thought would be, it could be a reason because I was having so much screen time with doing work for the school and also starting my online business at that time.
All the times we're talking now, they never suspected myasthenia gravis here. And we are quite upset with that because if we knew it's in the beginning, we could have prevented better, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
For 2 years in China, they were not able to diagnose Morne with myasthenia gravis. They were finding other reasons.
I was even asking, do people really get double vision? Because you can clearly see, the doctor also did these things and he saw that my right eye was not moving with my left eye. My left would go a certain distance, my right eye would just stop at a certain point. Like, how strained do your eyes have to be from a computer?
Yeah.
Like, people that sit on their computer for hours and hours, I don't even do close to that much screen time. And this guy's telling me,
they were assuming that your eyes are not your strongest part of the body and it gets tired
because
easily.
He said, because that doctor said that, yes, this is why some people experience the same. So I was like, okay. I was getting very frustrated. Now it's 20 days later and it's still double vision. And I'm resting my eyes like never before. And I'm, you don't even know what to do anymore. And so one day, after a month, after like 38 days, I think it was, 40 days.
Yeah, about 40 days.
It just randomly started going away again. Then once again, you think, okay, I'm okay. So maybe the first time I was in the sinus infection, maybe this whole time my prescription was wrong.
Yeah, once again, we still didn't know that myasthenia gravis is there.
Something that never even crossed our minds was that it could be something neurological. So started running, felt very good. Running at least twice a week, training really hard, got back into a lot of screen time, working full-time online, which was the goal from the start. Even before I started getting these symptoms, I got into basically the best shape of my life.
3.5 months later, we were thinking you are perfect and all is good, and you went to play rugby with guys.
Yeah.
Then all was fine. You never got double vision again from that event. But when you were telling me that you're feeling unfit, I was very surprised with that because you were running, you were gymming a lot and do all of that physical activity. And then you're saying you're unfit. I'm like, how can it be possible?
I remember starting the game off well, felt fine. And then 20 minutes later, I just felt like I couldn't run so fast anymore. And my lungs were okay, but I was like, maybe it's just because I'm unfit in terms of playing rugby. I didn't think too much of it, but I knew for a fact that I couldn't run as fast, at least continuously.
1 month later, we were in gym doing back session.
We were doing a back session and I was doing bent over rows where you stand and you're rowing your weights like this. And I wasn't doing a heavy weight. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't heavy. It wasn't anything unusual, something that I do all the time. Something just went in my lower back.
Yes, you injured yourself really badly.
Randomly as well. I still think till today that it's probably because the muscles in my body weren't engaging really well. The ligaments in my back were working harder than they should have. The sacroiliac ligaments to be specific, and I think I probably tore a few of them.
About maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And after that, you start having double vision again. We never went to doctor again. We just called the previous doctor, and the doctor said, keep looking into distance.
Keep looking into... I messaged that same doctor, told him, listen, this is happening again. And he just told me again, look into the distance, rest your eyes. And there's me sitting outside again, looking into the distance, waiting for a miracle.
11 days later, we went to Vietnam. We were still not sure if we should go.
Had proper double vision already.
Yeah, you had proper double vision. Nothing helped. No rest. But we were still thinking maybe we need some more relaxing atmosphere.
Yeah, no, we're in Vietnam, and my brother also actually lives and works there. So yeah, we were taking it easy, trying to, recover, but just wasn't getting better. I'm weak, eh?
It's okay. It's okay.
One morning after breakfast, actually made an appointment at an optometrist, which was close by to our resort where we were staying. Her office is in her actual house, and we were there for
No
less
machines, no
than
examinations,
no
nothing.
no big fancy anything, but a proper place. Within 10 minutes, she was suspecting exactly myasthenia gravis, and then she also asked if
She asked exactly, have you ever been diagnosed with myasthenia gravis? Like, what is that? And we start Google it.
yeah.
Then she asked, how do you feel besides the double vision? How your muscle?
And she mentioned, when she asked, how's your body feeling? Initially, I was like, no, my body's feeling fine. But then later, when we left there, I told you, I was like, remember, actually, we were struggling with some push-ups. She told us to try and take Mestinon. So we went to the store and we took it. The first time I took it, I was...
I didn't take it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I took it and definitely remember feeling, wow, this is helping a little bit in terms of vision. So that was that first day. And the next day, because she asked, how does my body feel? I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for a run. And you came with me because you were too scared to let me run by myself.
Yes, you would.
And in that run, I realized that, wow, okay, something is definitely wrong with my body. So during the whole past 3 weeks building up to this moment where I'm running, I think the condition deteriorated a lot. And when we ran, remember, my legs just didn't want to work nicely. I was
thinking he's gonna fall, and I'm like,
I felt like I had giraffe legs or something. In the beginning was fine, but after like 1 kilometer, I knew that something was completely wrong. So fast forward to the next day. Next day we went to lunch. We're just walking about 100 meters down the road, not even, probably like 50 meters. And I was like, whoa, guys, my legs gave up on me. I said, I think my batteries are running out over here. I'm feeling very flat. And the next moment, I couldn't walk anymore and I had to sit down. And then we knew, okay, it's probably time to do
tests.
Yeah, to do tests.
Because now we're laughing, but that wasn't fun.
No, it was very scary.
To anyone who's going through the same things, it is scary.
Yeah.
And the only thing why even Mornay was doing all of the activity, because he's the person who pushes. You don't want to accept things like,
Yeah, I would try anything to see if I could still do something active, or, I didn't want to accept that something was really wrong. We did emergency room.
All right.
We did the thymus
test with contrast.
With contrast, that's the word. Thymus, no problem. So we booked a last minute flight to South Africa from Da Nang, which was very expensive. But in those moments, you don't worry about money. All your problems are gone, and you only have one problem, and that's your health. So that's also a very big lesson that we learned.
People have to learn because
I can't see anymore. And I don't know what's going on.
You're very strong, love.
So we went to South Africa, and long story short, I saw a neurologist over there. They tested for the antibodies that they should have, including musk and a whole bunch of other things. And they called us back within a couple of days, and they let us know that yes, it's very high acetylcholine antibodies, and that it's definitely myasthenia gravis. So this was in the first, I can't remember the exact date, but it was 2025 in February. I think it was in the first or second week of February. It was good to know that we knew what was the condition. Unlike previously when we had double vision and you don't know what's going on, it felt a bit better knowing that, okay, I'm taking medication and I'm expecting to get better at some point. It was still very frustrating because even when we got back to China, we're going into the 3rd month of double vision now. Even though my general energy in terms of walking around was getting better, I was able to join you for lunch breaks at your work, and I would just walk from home. It's about 1 kilometer away, and even while having double vision, and I was able to walk at least. But the double vision stayed for so long. So the doctor actually did not prescribe me prednisone. He said he doesn't like prescribing prednisone, and I didn't ask why. but I figured that out myself. So I was very desperate to fix my eyes. Took some prednisone, and I started getting some success with that, and I felt so much better. My vision started getting better, and I felt it was so relieving, and I was very blessed for that because it was over the weekend of my birthday, and we went to Shanghai to watch a Formula One, and Ina
And you
spoiled me a lot.
And you felt wonderful.
I felt
right?
great, not perfect. I was still taking, as now, four methanons a day, but I felt I could at least see one vision, and only now and again, when I look far to the side, have a little bit of double vision. And then we came back home, and I decided, because I'm feeling better, I'm going to go back to the gym. And only after, I think, 2 or 3 sessions of doing a little bit of weights, it wasn't even like I was doing a lot more, I had a massive relapse. At that stage, I was actually, before this massive relapse, I was also tapering off on the prednisone already, because I know it's not something that you want to be taking for a long time. And I can also see why, because the side effects are so terrible. Besides the mood swings that you get, it really destroys your mood at times. But another big thing was the acne that I was getting on my back.
Yeah.
I was getting so much acne from adding the prednisone. I was trying to taper it off, and then I also started training a little bit. Only 3 sessions in, and then I got a massive relapse. Some of the worst double vision I've ever had. Desperate again to fix the problem. I'm thinking prednisone is the way. And by the way, I'm still taking azathioprine or whatever it's called with it as a doctor prescribed. But now I'm upping my dose again for prednisone, and my vision just gets even worse. What I eventually realized, because I forced myself to go down to a lower dosage of prednisone, that's when I, after about 2 or 3 weeks, started getting a little bit of success again in my eyes. And for the following 6 weeks, I lowered down the prednisone, got off of it. And this was in about April, end of April. Since the end of April, my vision has been fine up until now,
Okay.
and it's July now. Since then, I've been able to keep things controlled. I've been slowly but surely getting back into training. It's just, I think, as you always say, the Azapres or the azathioprine is finally starting to do its job as well. Anyway, here we are, and for the rest of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about just how I manage my symptoms, what makes me feel a little bit better, and what causes me to feel a little bit worse or relapse a bit more. I'll talk a little bit about training, and then we'll just conclude it from there. Good morning, as I already finished my second cup of coffee. I was outside on the balcony trying to do this video a moment ago, and I started sweating, and I just realized this is not going to work. It's already 31 degrees Celsius, and it's not even 8 a.m. in the morning. So I was like, no, let me rather come inside and enjoy the AC before I go through another major relapse or something. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, this morning I'm going to talk a little bit about what causes me to relapse a bit harder and what causes me to feel a little bit better, and how to go about it. So I'll start off by saying that the morning is my new favorite time of the day, and it'll probably become your favorite time of the day as well, just because this is when you feel the most charged and ready to go, and this is kind of where you feel at your best, when you feel most normal, especially once you've been on medicine for a while and you've gained back. Especially if you've been on medicine for a while and your symptoms are not as bad anymore. So typically when you don't have very bad double vision anymore, or no double vision anymore, such as in my case, when you're feeling a little bit better, yeah, you'll find that you'll like to do most things in the morning. If you are still struggling with quite bad symptoms, very bad double vision, very fatigued feeling in the body, then yeah, in the morning you would still obviously need to take good rest and try to do as least as possible and get as much rest as possible. So yeah, for me, favorite time of the day, definitely morning. This is the time where I try to get most of my work done, especially since I'm working online. So I try to get most of my screen time out of the way, because the screen and reading is very, very taxing on the eyes. And I'll speak a little bit more about that in a moment. So I get that done in the morning. In terms of productivity, every person has their own way of going about things and being productive. It looks different for everyone. So whether you're an extremely productive person or not, doesn't matter. Your usual routine would look a little bit different, and you'll find that you'll have to make some adjusting. So for me personally, as mentioned, I like to get most of my work done in the morning. I also try to get to the gym in the morning if possible. But in the afternoon, where I usually would never take a nap in the afternoon unless it's like a chilled Sunday or something, I really try to take a nap around 2 to 3 o'clock. Even if it's not an hour, even just 30 minutes makes a big difference. But putting your phone away, lying down and just resting, closing your eyes and just resting for a proper 30 to 60 minutes makes a huge difference for the second half of your day. So I would highly recommend that. And it's something that I did do for a long while I was still getting past my worst symptoms. And now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better and better, I'm starting to skip these afternoon naps a little bit, but I feel it catching up to me. And I've started getting back into the last week to at least lie down for 20 to 30 minutes in the afternoon. And once again, I can feel a big difference when I do that. And it just helps the second half of my day to feel a lot better and just to feel a little bit more energized to get things done and to be in a happy mood around people, etc. Okay, so let me get into a few things that causes me to relapse a bit more, and then I'll talk about things that make me feel a little bit better. I want to mention that as time progresses and you figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, don't forget to jot it down or make a note on your phone, because even though in the moment you feel like you'll remember very easily in the future, you do tend to forget because it might be quite a few things that affect you in small ways. So I would definitely recommend writing down what affects you, what time it affects you, how it affects you, and that way you'll just be able to keep track of what to avoid and what you can do. So I have a whole list of things over here. These are notes that I made for the video, but it was easy to make the video because I already wrote down quite a few things. Recently, it started becoming summer again here in China. It's becoming really hot, and I've heard and read up before that the heat would affect the condition a little bit more, and I can definitely relate to that because as it's been getting more hot and humid over here, I do feel that my energy is running out a little bit quicker. I feel my eyes become a bit more jittery sooner during the day. So my eyes do get this jittery feeling. So I do still get a little bit of double vision, especially towards the end of the day or a day where I was having a lot of screen time, a lot of reading, or if I trained it really hard. But that didn't happen as often before summer. So now on really hot days, I do get this jittery feeling in my eyelids more often, but I definitely also feel that when I'm walking outside in the heat, my muscles tend to get more tired more quickly as they obviously get less engaged. And I also feel it in my speech. So I'm quicker to get a little bit tired of talking in very hot conditions. But in a controlled AC room or environment, that definitely helps a lot and prevents you from, getting tired too quickly. So as I briefly mentioned before, sleep is very important, and even if it's just taking a nap in the afternoon. But I do want to emphasize the fact that 8 hours sleep is like a minimum. I really do recommend getting as much sleep as possible, having good sleep during the night. Hopefully you're a good sleeper already. If you're not, you should look into a few things that can help you sleep a bit better, because this is probably the best thing you can do to recharge your batteries and to feel good the next day, or at least for most of the day the next day. So sleep is one of my top priorities, and it's definitely one of the things that make me feel the most recovered. Anytime that I don't have good sleep, or if I stayed up a little bit late to watch a movie or the rugby or whatever it might be, the next day I 100% feel it on my body. I do feel like I get tired a bit quicker. I feel in the morning that I'm not as energized. So whenever I don't get the sleep that I usually get, I directly feel that impact the following day. And if you have 2 days bad sleep in a row, even worse. So yeah, sleep is very, very important. All right, so about taking your Mestinon, as mentioned, I'm taking 4 a day. So I typically take it at around 7 in the morning, 11 in the morning. So 7, 11, 3 o'clock, and then around 7 o'clock. That's what works for me. And whenever I find that I forget to take it, and this often happens if I'm traveling and I forget to bring the Mestinon with me, then I can feel if I'm going at 5 hours without a Mestinon, I usually, even before I, even before I remembered that I forgot the Mestinon, I usually start feeling it in my eyes, and that's how it comes to me. Like, oh, I need a Mestinon. So yeah, I always start feeling my eyes getting a bit tighter, that tight feeling where you're struggling to move it as good as usual. Usually it starts in one eye with me, in my right eye. Then it obviously also starts affecting the body and fatigue as well. So rather than having just one bottle of Mestinon at a time that you finish and then get another one, try to get 2 or 3 and then keep one in the car, keep one in the house, and keep one in your backpack if that's what you carry with, or your purse, or whatever it might be, so that you always have it on hand. Because if you do forget it and you're not able to take one when you need one, then it just makes you struggle unnecessarily a little bit more. So get into the habit of taking or having Mestinon around wherever you go. When it comes to training and exercise, overtraining definitely also causes a bit more of a relapse. I'll talk a little bit more about that, because one of the biggest relapses I've had was what I think was due to exercising. So I'll get back to that. The next section of this video is going to focus on training and exercise. One of the biggest ones in causing relapse and making you feel worse than usual is stress. So stress is quite usual in one's life. Everyone has a little bit of stress, which is okay. That doesn't affect me, at least, too much. A little bit of stress is okay. But I remember a couple of months ago, I think 2 months ago, we went through quite a stressful situation that was, I would say, a little bit more stress than usual. And in that moment of hearing the situation that came up, I could just feel my body deteriorating in like 5 minutes. And I literally got double vision that afternoon, and that set me back into a relapse for a little while. So I know it's not very easy to control stress. It's not something I can just say, hey, stop stressing. Everyone finds their own ways to deal with stress, but it's worth mentioning that if you can find a way to deal with your stress a bit better, then it's something really good that you can do for yourself, because a lot of stress causes a lot of harm to this condition. I just want to touch a little bit more on screen time and reading as well, especially also on the phone. Anything that's moving the eyes consistently, because as you probably already know, especially if you're struggling with double vision, your eyes have 6 muscles on each eye, and they're not very big muscles, but they're moving all the time. They're working all the time as the eyes are moving all the time, because especially if you're reading on your phone, on the computer, or even just a book, your eyes are just moving from side to side all the time. And this is very tiring for the eye, and that's why it's very unfortunate in my case, because as I mentioned, I'm working online, and a lot of what I do is screen time and reading. It's most of what I do, and I think it's probably most of what anyone does in any job, even if you're just a teacher. When I used to teach, I remember, obviously making lesson plans, report writing, reading students' essays. It's your eyes are working a lot. And unfortunately for us, that's a little bit heavy on the condition. And even though your body might be resting in the chair, your eyes are working hard, and then you very quickly start feeling the effects of it. The eyes getting tired. Usually, for me, once again, my right eye always gets tired more quickly than the left eye. The reason for this, I have no idea. I would really recommend limiting yourself to screen time. So what I do is, for Instagram, I allow 1 hour a day for Instagram and Facebook. So I set up a timer on my phone. I've got an iPhone, and it automatically reminds me when there's only 5 minutes left. And then when that's done, it actually stops. And then I can't use Instagram for the rest of the day, or Facebook. So that's a nice way that I control my screen time. Other than limiting my screen time on my phone, when it comes to work, I try to dedicate a certain amount of time to get certain tasks done for the day, because it's so easy to just end up getting caught up in the moment, and you just want to finish the task, and before you know it, you're doing 3 hours in front of the screen in one go. So I try to limit myself and try to dedicate a certain amount of time to get certain tasks done. As someone that's likes being very productive, it's not always easy for me. Sometimes I decide to just push through and get the task done, but almost every time I regret it, because it just catches up with my eyes. And once again, as I've mentioned, my eyelids start jittering, eye starts moving a little bit more difficult. So I've recovered from double vision for about a month, or a month and a half, 2 months now. And even after a long day of screen time, I can still feel that if I look to the left very quickly, then my right eye doesn't move as quick as my left eye. So then I'll see double for like a few seconds, and then it catches up for like 2 seconds. So it's not worth it pushing through in those moments. It's important just to stick to your schedule and put your health first. Another important thing that helps is the 20-20-20 rule. So every
20 seconds, 20 seconds, every 20 minutes, look at an object 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So this also is something that really helps the eyes, and not just for anyone with myasthenia gravis, anyone that's working on a screen for extended periods of time, try to follow this 20-20-20 rule. So it's important to set a timer for 20 minutes. It goes really quickly, especially if you're working on a computer, but just do it no matter what. 20 minutes, stand up, look at something at least 20 feet away, just chill in 20 to 30 seconds, just look at it, rest the eyes, and go back. But I wouldn't recommend him working more than 40 minutes at a time. So after 20 minutes, take your 20-second break, and then keep working for another 20 minutes. And then I would say take a good 20 to 30-minute break where you're not looking at a screen at all. And this is the same for reading a book, because your eyes are also still working. So I don't think the actual reflection from the screen affects our eyes so much. It's mostly the fact that your eyes are moving and the muscles are getting tired. I hope I didn't forget something very important in what's causing me relapse. If I do, I'll try edit it later in the video, and yeah, perhaps make more videos about this in the future. But one thing I do want to mention is I still do get like these pains in my chest. It went away for a while, but I still do get some aching sensation. It only lasts for 3 to 5 seconds at a time, and I only get it in my chest, sometimes in the middle, sometimes on the side. I'm assuming it's my muscle, and I don't understand what's causing that. And I used to have it as well, especially I had it at the worst when I was quite new to Mestinon. When I was just starting to take Mestinon, I started getting these pains. This was still in like February. And it went away for a while, but recently it's coming back. And I don't know if it's because it's got anything to do with training a little bit harder than usual as I'm feeling a little bit better. I don't know if it's got anything to do with the Mestinon I'm taking. But yeah, if anyone's got similar feelings or got anything to say about that, please comment below or message me. It'll be good to get your opinion as well. But yeah, for sure, I do get these aching sensations in my chest. Let me talk about a few things that I know make me feel better. And I want to start off by talking about diet. So I have experimented a little bit with dieting. And of course, you know, anyone that's got this condition will relate to me that you're desperate to try anything to feel a little bit better, to understand it a bit better, to do your best to do something that could take it away, right? So one of the things I did after a lot of research and reading and seeing quite a bit of success with dieting for autoimmune conditions, I came upon the carnivore diet. I already knew about the carnivore diet. I actually stated in a previous video that I think it's so silly to do a carnivore diet where you limit yourself to so many foods, you just only eat meat. It was very crazy to me. But when I saw that a lot of people had success in their autoimmune conditions, and I didn't see anything myasthenia gravis specific, but I did read and watch videos about people getting very good results in other autoimmune conditions. So I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. Maybe it'll help. But I knew that if I'm going to give it a try, I'll have to give it a good try. So I did it for 40 days, the carnivore diet, and I did not cheat once. I only ate meat and I only drank water. So I only ate chicken, codfish, salmon fish, and beef in the form of ground beef, steak, and I didn't have any pork. And in terms of chicken, I had all sorts of chicken, like chicken thighs, chicken legs, chicken with skin, without skin, etc. And yeah, that's what I did for 40 days. And however, I did start feeling better within those 40 days, but I was also taking medication, and during that time, I was still on prednisone as well. So I've said it before on Instagram, and I'll say it now just to make sure people understand that I'm definitely not recommending the carnivore diet to anyone with myasthenia gravis to try and solve your problem, because I can't make the conclusion that that's what made me feel better in the time. You know, because since I knew that when I was going to stop carnivore after 40 days, you know, I was supposed to do it for like 90 days, but after like 2 weeks, I was like, there's no ways I want to do this for a long time. So I was like, let me try do at least 40 days. And I knew that if I would get a relapse, that would be a sign to me that it's working. And then in that case, I'll be back on the carnivore. Then it'll be worth it. If I go into a relapse and I knew for a fact that, hey, the carnivore was what is making me feel better, then it's worth it. Then I'll just stick to only eating meat. I'll do that any day of the week if that means that that's what's making me feel better. But anyway, I stopped the carnivore and didn't get relapsed. Stayed on prednisone for a while and eventually got off of prednisone. Obviously, still while taking Mestinon and azathioprine or whatever it's called. And didn't get relapse, and for that reason didn't go back into carnivore. So after stopping carnivore, I gradually started eating other foods that I typically eat again. I like to mainly stick to fruits for the form of carbohydrates, but I definitely still do have, like, my wife and I enjoy eating sourdough bread. So I do have sourdough bread, other forms of carbs. Sometimes I still enjoy having a little bit of rice, but mainly we have fruit and meat, and that's working really well for me. So I definitely would recommend just eating a healthy, nutrient-dense diet, and that's what you should recommend to anyone. You don't have to have a condition to get that advice. All my clients that I have for the coaching online, of course, we're only doing nutrient-dense diets. So definitely stick to that. It's your best way of knowing that you're putting your body in the best state possible to benefit from the nutrients and to feel energized and to feel good, and not eat empty calories and carbohydrates that's got no real benefit to your body. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend a specific extreme diet. I would just recommend eating as healthy as you can, because there is no evidence that a specific way of eating helps this condition. It's just the fact. There is no evidence of that. So, I mean, like me, you can go and experiment, and I don't blame you if you do, because as I've mentioned, you feel desperate to do something, and that's what I did. But I don't think that, I don't know, but I don't think that food has anything to do with it, at least from now. The reason why I thought that food might have something to do with it is because I know that this sort of condition, and the way antibodies are produced, etc., has got a lot to do with proteins. So yeah, it's something we don't understand, and if scientists haven't been able to figure it out, then I don't think we will be able to figure it out. But yeah, conspiracies around this is a whole nother conversation, but let's not get into that. I've already mentioned how important sleep is and taking an afternoon nap. So even if you don't fall asleep completely in the afternoon, just close your eyes, lay down, and that bit of rest will really help a lot for the second half of your day. But other than that, 8 hours minimum a night's sleep, and also try to sleep in a nice, comfortable environment. And while I was talking about this now, I was just thinking that the aircon is actually a problem for me sometimes. Lately, I think I fixed the problem by using a very solid humidifier. When we use the aircon, not just me, but also for my wife, it dries out your lungs or your throat, whatever it is, a little bit. You start developing a cough. And recently, I got a little bit sick for the first time in quite a while. It's the first time I got a little bit sick, at least in terms of developing a bit of a cough and some phlegm. And I could definitely feel how that also affected my condition. Within a couple of days, I was feeling much more fatigued than usual. I was also battling with my eyes a little bit more, not complete double vision, but I could feel that my eyes got tired even quicker using screen time. Same problem with looking to the left quite quickly and having a little bit of double vision for a moment, and having a bit more fatigue than usual while training in the gym. And that's while just being a little bit sick. I wasn't like extremely sick. I was just had a bit of a cough, a bit of an irritation in the throat. But because how the immune system works and the antibodies build up, that just straight away starts affecting your condition as well. So it's so important to try and stay healthy. And that's just a bit ironic because we are taking autoimmune suppressants. So you have to be healthy, but you also have to try and not be too healthy. It's a little bit confusing, but it is what it is. So it's actually hard to point out exact things that make you feel better other than staying in controlled temperatures, taking your Mestinon and your medications regularly. Try to not miss taking any medications. I know that different people take different kind of medications, but for example, me that's taking azathioprine, I'm taking that twice a day. And I set out my medication for the day every morning so that I don't forget to take it. So it's right there. And often it's also, for some reason, maybe it's just me, but I would forget if I took that pill already or if I haven't. And that's why I just set it out in the morning so that I can just, keep track of that easily. But yeah, it's hard to point out what else makes you feel a lot better, because there's nothing you can do that just makes you feel instant relief or feel much better very quickly. But yeah, I would say getting to the gym or just doing any sort of exercise, whether it's at home or in the gym, makes you feel much better mentally. And when you're feeling much better mentally, it also, I think that's a good way of reducing stress a little bit and feeling a bit more motivated. So, of course, not overdoing it to the point where it's affecting your immune system and you're, getting more fatigue more quickly, but doing enough to know that, hey, I got something very productive and good done for my body. Trying to grow a bit of muscle, which is very important for this condition. And also, like I said, just mentally knowing that and feeling that you've done some exercise. Anyone that's got a good workout and will know that it's always very rewarding afterwards and you feel good. So I really benefit from that. So I'll definitely recommend trying to do just a little bit of exercise. Obviously, this will depend on how your condition is looking at the moment. If you're still struggling with severe double vision and intense fatigue, then of course it's not a good idea to put any more stress on your body. But when you are starting to feel a bit better and you're trying to get back into some kind of routine, doing a little bit of exercise at a time does help a lot. And the biggest benefit from that is mentally knowing that you got some exercise done and just feeling good afterwards. So yeah, as I said, the next section of this video, I'll be covering a little bit more on training.